Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about unintentional interstitial characters in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We're in the deep end of the pool, people. I appreciate your patience. Let's talk about this. So what on earth is an interstitial character? Okay, so if you want to see an interstitial character, you can go watch it over on Jovenshire Puppet Adventures, which is an officially signed off, acknowledged, recognized Dungeons & Dragons campaign from Wizards of the Coast. They didn't build it. What they did was they pointed it out and said, hey, you can go watch D&D here. But the moment Wizards of the Coast on an official D&D article says, watch this campaign, they're saying this is D&D. And they literally said, go watch Dungeons & Dragons here. So they acknowledge this is Dungeons & Dragons. The whole show is done with puppets, okay? But I saw something there that that I've seen before, but I never really recognized, and that was an interstitial character. So on that show, there's a gentleman by the name of Person X. We don't know his real name. He says he is Lasercorn, playing Hatchet Hand, right? So he is not identifying as his real self person. He is playing with players who literally are identifying as their real self player. So basically, when we get to that point and we're saying, okay, so basically he's saying, I'm claiming a character who is playing my player character. That character is Lasercorn. A better way to think about this is think about this, okay? What if there was a scene in Avengers Endgame where Tony Stark plays as a player Dungeons & Dragons? That would be Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark, playing a player character. That's what you are seeing on Jovenshire's Puppet Adventures. The person who is playing as Lasercorn and playing Hatchet Hand, he is himself. We don't know his name, okay? But that's purposeful. He's saying it's not me playing this character, it's Lasercorn. This character he's built to play a character, which is pretty incredible, right? So if you have this situation where you have a character playing a character, that is incredibly different and unique, okay? We are really in the deep end of the pool now. Now that you understand what an interstitial character is, I'm going to propose to you something else. I think we now live in a world where not only are we going to see a rise in interstitial characters, but you also need to recognize unintended interstitial characters. I have already witnessed this, right? So what is an unintended interstitial character? That is when someone who shows up to your Dungeons & Dragons table builds a character for themselves that really only shows up at that table, and it's a different person that they can be. And that's the person playing the character. Okay. Now I saw this. I was in this was actually a streamed game, but I'm not going to call the guy out. And we had this brilliant player. He was actually the coolest dude you ever met, right? Just like super cool Fonzie type dude. I know Fonzie's a dated reference, but who's cool today? I don't know, right? But Fonzie was synonymous with cool. So you had this guy was personally a super cool person. Everybody loved him. He was literally a Mason, so he had friends in the Masons. He had professional friends. His wife drug him to church. He didn't care for church at all. He had people who loved him at the church, right? Everywhere he went, everybody loved the person of this guy. When he showed up at the D&D table, he was a monster. All he wanted to do was kill. And he would be like, when are we going to kick the door down and kill some goblins? Until then, I am bored, right? And he became very uncool, right? But that was a character that he didn't know he was putting up. He showed up as a different person at the table than he was in real life. And I think we now realize there can be unintended interstitial characters. Have you ever encountered one? I definitely have, right? And I think as DMs, we need to understand that they can show up at our table. We're just now understanding interstitial characters, and we also have to recognize that we can have unintended interstitial characters showing up. That's my opinion. Have you ever encountered one of these? Have you ever seen an unintended interstitial character at your table? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.